and later on we'll share this with you. Supreme Court insists Nnamdi Kanu must face treason trial, sets aside appeal court judgment. But I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. Jide, I greet you. Good evening. I greet you. Good Compliments evening. Too. Dotun is here. Dotun Aladekwa. Compliments, Dotun.
Compliments of the season.
Okay. So the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, let's go. You know, a former governor of old Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezeife, the one you knew as Okwadike 1, is dead. The family announced that the Harvard-trained economist passed on at the Federal Medical Center, Abuja, on Thursday, aged 86. According to the late British monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, grief is the price we pay for love, Jide.
Yes, and frankly, Chukwuemeka Ezeife is a big loss. He's one of the most respected, he was one of the most respected Igbo men alive. After the loss of Bazulike Amechi, the First Republic Minister of Aviation, I can't think of any other Igbo son that is accepted by even IPOB elements like Chukwuemeka Ezeife. He was one of the few people who could talk to those bad boys and they would listen. Because I remember before the last governorship election in Anambra State, people like Ezeife, people like Bazulike Amechi, they were the ones who stepped in and said, look, let us hold elections. And the boys who had been threatening that without a referendum, that there will be no election in the East, they allowed that election to take place. He was such a respected voice, you know, by all, because he did his best to maintain his integrity through the years. And when you're talking about, I do not believe that there's a self-made man, but there are men who did great things with the minutest of opportunities at their disposal. Ezeife never went through secondary school. He sat for those correspondence examinations, and there are some people like that too, who never went through secondary school. He just sat for correspondence exams and passed. And he rose to even become a lecturer in one of the best 10 universities in Africa, Makerere University in Kampala. So is an example of a man who developed himself tremendously.
Okay.
And is the sort of person that when he leaves this world, you are bound to miss him, because someone like that is impossible to replace.
Okay.
You know? So the last time I saw him was at the airport in Asaba, and inside the departure lounge, and he recognized me. I said, Babajide, how are you? I said, fine. I prostrated, I greeted him in his usual white.
Oh, that's his trademark.
I never knew that that would be the last time that we encounter him. We pray for the repose of his soul.
Okay, okay. Doctor, what more can we say? Living to be 84 in Nigeria is an achievement.
86 at that. I think he did well for himself. Like Bikio said, only few Nigerians who are known now went through this kind of experience of sitting back at home to read and then pass to going to university. So he built himself, he made himself.
Yeah.
Nobody made him. And, you know, when Chuba Okadibo died, there was this feeling inside of me that most of the old respected Igbo politicians are gone. and now he's added to the number.
Yeah.
Amechi too is gone. So the elder statesman. So one can only wish him a peaceful rest in the bosom of the Lord.
In the bosom of the Lord. Okwadike, you came, you saw, and I dare say you conquered.
Yeah, you did.
Rest in peace. Now to our next story. You know, point of sales POS operators across states in the country have increased their service charges to, well, by 100%, even as the Naira scarcity continues to take its toll. All of this is happening despite CBN's claims of 3.4 trillion Naira in circulation. Commercial banks are not helping matters either. Makes you wonder if we are in a vice.
Well, this really, in my estimation, shouldn't have been unexpected.
You saw it coming?
Yeah, I saw it coming. And if we...
Maybe the CBN didn't see it coming.
It's possible. Because, you know, like I've always maintained it, those who rule us, they are a bit far from the realities on ground. Most of them. Because they don't transact at our own level. They don't. If they want cash, they get it.
So they couldn't be bothered?
It's not such a problem to them. So they believe that the way they operate is also the way it is in town. If you don't come into town, you know, they should drive to the markets. They should drive into banks without the paraphernalia of office, without the escorts, these guys. Put on a face cap, put on, you know, just you alone, and go and see what is happening.
On covert operations?
This week, sir, I've been to different branches of banks. In some, when they are counting the notes, you have to move back because it's dirty.
Okay.
So worn out. And then you hear it. We can only give 5,000 Naira. What is the value of 5,000 Naira when you go to the market? In this season when the woman who is selling turkey wants cash in order to be able to replace her goods easily. We are getting to the point we were at the time the Naira redesign was done, where you go to the market, they will tell you if you are holding cash, this one is 200 Naira. If you want to do transfer, the same quantity is 250. If you want to do POS, it is 300. So it's just the reality on ground because people are scared.
How then do you reconcile what I said a while back?
Yeah.
The CBN says at least 3.4 trillion.
Yes, that is the reality on ground. But people are scared. They are holding on to the money.
They are holding.
Yes, holding in a way because they don't know what next. So everybody is holding on. If I get this, let me just hold on to it. And that is what is happening. So you go to the bank tells you, look, money has just come in, but it is few. So let's keep ensuring that it goes round.
Yeah.
So you can only get 10,000. ATM, you can't find them.
Some people say they have forgotten how they use the ATM.
Because there is no more money in it.
I'm wondering if Jide still is wondering why the POS operator will have Naira at his disposal and you cannot get from the bank.
The reason is clear, and we've talked about this before.
I think we did yesterday.
Yes, the reason is clear. Nigerians made massive withdrawals ahead of the
Supreme Court
deadline, the deadline of December 31 that the Supreme Court set. The Supreme Court waded in when Emefiele was going to kill the rest of us by extending that deadline to the 31st of
December.
That was the respite. Led for the man from Delta State, the deadline that he set had to be obeyed. All because they had their gaze fixed on stopping someone from winning an election. You then inflicted pain on the rest of us. we that we are not contesting the election. We had to suffer. So today, having been put through that pain, Nigerians, the moment things normalized, they began to withdraw money and keep. I was warning, sometimes when we talk here, they think we are fools, we don't know what we are doing, oh, we work for some politicians, this and that, and all of the rubbish that some people say. I said it that the banks, given what people went through early this year, over that badly managed, badly planned Naira redesign.
And executed one, badly executed.
That people will lose faith in the banks. Yeah. What usually happens when people lose faith in the banks? They keep their monies at home. They don't have to use the banks. Now, they came up with the idea that, okay, withdrawal limit, you cannot withdraw more than 50,000, you can 20,000 and all that. That worsened matters. That decision was made so that the rate at which people were withdrawing money from the banks will stop. But it didn't stop. They felt the banks will now have tons of cash with them once this ceiling was put in place. But it didn't help matters. People had massively withdrawn money and kept. Yeah. Because they do not want to open their eyes and let what happened the last time happen. You know? So, what we are facing now is a situation in which the banks have little cash in their vaults. It's not a matter that there is 3.4 trillion in circulation does not mean that about 3 trillion is in the hand of the banks.
No? That's it.
It doesn't mean, because people withdrew money and kept. People are hoarding money. And it's difficult to blame people who lost their loved ones, people who lost their businesses, especially micro and nano businesses. During that time, that Emefiele thought he was making sense. But today, now we are suffering. People have decided to keep their money. Now, the POS operators usually patronize the filling stations. They give them money, collect cash. That is what they use every time you go to them. Like someone now that we used to patronize, will give me 50,000. He said, right now, I can't give you 50,000. Because it makes sense to him to give people 2,000, 3,000, and collect money than simply give you a loan, 50,000, and run out of cash.
Yeah.
You know? So this is, the liquidity problem will be there until such a time when Nigerians can see that, oh, there is no attempt to phase out the old currency, because they felt that by December 31st, this government should have woken up earlier, knowing that that was the plan. Of course, this new CBN governor just came in September. There's a limit to which I can blame him for what has happened, except I'm not reasonable. Government should have moved in earlier to say, look, there's no deadline. In any case, there was no need for that currency redesign, because the currency that we had, the old currency, is 1,000,000 times better than
the one they came up with.
Quality-wise, the difference between them is like night and day. And again, they didn't even print enough. So today, you have even more of the old currency in circulation than the so-called new ones.
Yeah.
So
this problem is basically man-made.
The problem was lack of planning. The desire to commit wickedness was the overriding desire. Okay. And at the end of the day, look at what we are facing. Look at what we are facing. You don't have cash. You have to. The difference between this time and that time is that at least if you are ready to pay, you get. Back then, you were ready to pay and you couldn't get Naira notes. At that time, 1,000 Naira would look like 1,000,000 Naira if you need it desperately.
At the state level, in some states, you pay as much as 10,000 to get for 20, 30, 40,000.
You know, in the north, this problem began earlier than the rest of us.
Yeah.
when they were complaining that Naira scarcity had begun because it had not reached Lagos. Many people didn't think it was a problem. But they had been facing that problem in Kano and other places long before now. Because the people there were already aware of that deadline. And government didn't come out early to reach out to the Supreme Court to extend the deadline indefinitely. You waited until the deadline was very close. So by that time, people had already mopped up cash and kept at home. So this is a problem that we created for ourselves. We don't want too much money in people's hands. We want a sizable portion of our currency, of our money, in the banking vaults. But that's not happening now.
Yeah.
So what Mefele told us that he wanted to achieve, we now have that problem on an even bigger scale than that time.
I wonder if Nigerians are ready to go through another round of
they should bring out the money in their hands. It's as simple as that.
Year.
Let people bring out the money that they are keeping. Yeah. There's no deadline again.
No deadline.
What the Supreme Court gave them is an infinite...
I think by the time the holidays are over, when there is no more need to want to use cash to buy it will get better. But for now,
I'm sure.
I don't think it will, because people are
holding
on to it.
Very holding on to what they have. You can't blame them.
Said, like you said, when you go to POS operators, they rather give you 3,000 naira and make 100 naira on it.
Yes.
Than give you 5,000 for the same 100 naira.
Okay, I wish we can get more naira in our pockets by discussing this. Crazy. All right, to our next story. You know, the befuddling politics in Rivers State continues to keep the bystander guessing, even as it unfolds. Barely 24 hours after their seats were declared vacant by factional Speaker Edison Ehie, pro-Wike lawmakers, via a motion, adopted and converted the auditorium of the House of Assembly quarters to their hallowed chambers. Now, the 26 members in a motion, sponsored and moved by Ofix Kabana from the Andoni constituency, passed bills which they contend would end arbitrary removals and suspensions. The pro-Wike group insists that Governor Siminalayi Fubara must be impeached. We are not at home yet, Jide.
Yes, I hope that these two fighters who clearly are not bothered about how the ordinary man thinks, I hope they will sheath their swords. My own concern is for this not to degenerate into massive violence. They can fight all day. It's their choice. But the peace of Rivers State must not be breached in a manner that will put the lives of our people in danger. That is where it concerns me. Because the Nigerian politician has shown himself to be the most devious brand, the most devious strain of politicians you can see anywhere. You can look at fire affected a small portion of an assembly complex. You then decided to demolish the entire complex. If you've seen that complex before, because I've seen it before, if you wonder how can someone do this kind of damage, do this kind of destruction, as if it's not taxpayers' money that will be used to construct.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and it just points to brinksmanship. Oh, the assembly may want to impeach me. Let me level the whole complex so that they cannot sit. But nothing says they cannot sit somewhere else. What they cannot do is to take the sitting outside of the state. You know, in the past, they wanted to impeach a governor and then they decided to go and sit outside that state.
Yeah.
They went and sat in Delta State. It amounted in the end to a waste of time. But nothing says that they cannot sit anywhere in the state capital.
Even in somebody's kitchen.
So now, they've chosen to go to the legislative quarters to sit. It is the law that will set the brains of these people aright. We need the judiciary to stand firm and do what is right. We have a situation now where 4 persons, the governor stood before 4 assembly members and said he has presented this budget. That is taking the joke too far. And the governor is educated. You can't say that somebody who was accountant general of a state like Rivers for 8 years does not know what he's doing. But the politician in him
is at work,
driven by the yes men and women who say, look, nothing will happen, do it, has made him to do what even in his heart of heart he knows is ridiculous. To say that you are presenting a budget before 4 persons in a House of Assembly of 32 persons, you presented to 4 persons.
And it's been signed into law.
He knows that what he has done is ridiculous. That's the point that I'm making.
I know.
Now, he can easily remember that somebody in Edo State did something similar. And he used the courts to
validate,
frustrate every attempt to redress what he had done. The judiciary is the last hope of our nation, not just the last hope of the common man. The judiciary on this Rivers matter has to do its job. Giving contrary judgments by courts of coordinate jurisdiction is a ridiculous and irresponsible thing that judges do. You can't, a matter in which a court that your court is not superior to, you can't go and be giving
contrary judgment.
Yes. I mean, it makes no sense. It's a superior court that can do that. But we are saying that it's already part of the way the judiciary behaves in our country. So, in the matter of Rivers, no one knows how the thing will all end. All we are concerned about is let it not lead to bloodletting in a manner that will cause innocent people. There was one philosopher that said, unfortunately in all wars, those who die are those who do not deserve to die. Because the politicians who fan the embers of war, they usually do not pay with their lives. It is the ordinary people who pay with their lives. And if care is not taken, the rate at which Fubara and Wike are going, we'll start seeing people killing themselves. We'll start seeing cultists take over the streets, fighting one another, rival cult groups, because Rivers, they have them in abundance. They will start fighting one another. That's not what we want to see. There has to be an opportunity to even resolve this matter. You know, the APC reported that the president's intervention failed. That doesn't mean that men of wisdom
and goodwill
can still not come in and stem this tide. It will be good if such elderly people, respected people, the other judges of this world can step in and say, gentlemen, we too have been governors in this state. Let this
apply the brakes.
Yes.
So all right.
That's what we want to see.
Let's apply the brakes here. Go for a commercial break and return. When we come back, we'll take this Rivers State on our mind to a logical conclusion. Please stay with us.
Be this. See me see trouble. So today, I said I should treat myself as salary just enter. I ordered my food and was looking forward to demolishing all the orishi-rishi.
pay before serving.
Are they run? Oh yeah, time to pay rich now.
Food where you never pay for.
Now here my card begin acting. Hey.
You know what?
You know what? Okay. After debiting me, it's like this one wants to find my trouble. Say premium dragging. Oh, because this card did not work.
Save yourself the embarrassment. Get a card that works with MoneyPoint's personal banking. Download the app, request for a card and have it delivered to you in 48 hours. Experience banking on point because your money no go hang.
Okay then, let's go back to Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, River State on our mind. The state is fondly referred to as the treasure base of the country. Look at the treasure base, and remember, River State brought some warlords to the fore.
Yeah.
The list is endless. We can't afford to go back there, as Jesus just said.
Well, that's like BQ said, also my fear that this decision to, or the behavior, the action to make the state lawless is worrisome. Because this is a state where security issues are being managed. They are being managed. And it doesn't make sense at this time for you to still allow at that level where the governor and the minister are operating for things to degenerate. They are still looking for cultists who killed a divisional police officer. They can't find him till now. People are still going into villages to hold people and collect ransom. They are still killing people, cultists. But instead of facing this business of governance and attending to security issues, the needs of the people, this is what we are faced with. This shouldn't be. The governor has taken a very, very wrong step by demolishing that House of Assembly. It's wrong. It wasn't just 2 days ago when that action was taken that that place was burnt. It wasn't. We were not told by any document or by anybody in that government that that building needed to be brought down because of that fire incident. We were not told. All of a sudden, you are justifying it. That is wrong. If people had been on your side as governor, what he has done with that building diminishes him completely. Honestly. It diminishes him. Because it should have thought beyond that. There are ways in which you handle such policy. It's bloody waste of. River State can be the richest, but you can deploy that money that you are going to use to rebuild that assembly into better things.
And even the state is so rich, but the ordinary Rivers people, they do not feel.
They can't feel anything.
They don't feel the wealth of the state.
They can't.
They don't feel it.
So instead of wasting money doing this, and then, like BKO said, we need people now, just like it happened in Ondo State, the elder statesmen to step in. Because if they don't, the state is going to be the biggest loser. We have said it on this program before. Wike is not the only governor, only former governor, who is serving as minister in this region. He should allow peace in that state.
Yeah.
David Umahi is there as minister. What we have been hearing from his successor in Ebonyi has been commendation for him, that he has allowed him a free hand. It may not, there could be some elements of politics, but that is what we are seeing so far. We have not heard Umahi complain about anything that somebody is changing his structure in Ebonyi.
Maybe it's not moving against it.
Maybe it's not moving against him, but whatever way.
Whatever it is, even if it moves against your structures, you've left office.
You've left office.
You see, the politician just thinks that he must always have things his way. I'm sorry,
wrong.
You can't always have things your way. And we've seen other governors too, who brought people to power. Those people turned against them.
Yeah.
It keeps happening.
And it will keep happening.
Keeps happening.
And it will keep happening.
There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's not everybody that you do good to who is prepared to repay you with good.
The problem here is, I make you governor, you attempting to be your own man will be the problem.
Yes.
Or move against my interests and turn me to a politician of no value. You know, some people you help them to get to office, they will now make sure that you are no longer relevant.
Yeah.
That people will now see you as a yesterday's man who has no influence anymore. Any politician that you try to do that to will feel bad.
Yeah.
But governors continue to do it. The same governors today who are behaving like they are little gods.
You know,
they've ended up in the National Assembly.
Go and look
lost
at
their
it.
influence once they are there. Some of the injustices that they refuse to talk about, by the time they move to the other side, those injustices will begin to haunt them.
Yeah.
You now see the people that have supplanted them as governors using the power of incumbency to even make sure that his godfather does not amount to anything politically anymore. People will feel bad, but at some point you have to cut your loss, or how is it called? You have to take your loss on the chin.
Yeah, just bear it.
Because as I've said before,
move on
to Wike, in this matter, if you do not find a way to manage things, you are going to regret that you got into this. Because I've seen governors before him faced with this kind of situation, and what did we see? What did we see? They lost influence, and that's the end of it.
Completely.
Look at Dajuma Goje. Two straight governors that he put in place. They moved against him. He has not died. He's still in the...
life goes on.
Yes,
life goes on. That's
there. It's still there.
You look away.
You just look away.
Look away and leave the man alone. After all, when he got into power, he ensured that someone like Rotimi Amechi couldn't even touch town again.
But they are in different parties.
Yes, no.
Keep using this Amechi.
I'm just saying that
Amechi did not put him in office.
No.
There's a difference. The way it will pay you.
Yes.
If you are the one who spend your resources and put someone in office, is different.
No, I quite understand that.
Yes, because I was saying even people asking the question that, after all, he too did the same thing to Amechi.
No.
Not really.
That is not the reality. I'm only saying that as a governor, he had the resources and power to ensure that, so it can be done to him. That's what he doesn't realize. It's not. I'm not even going into the party line, but the fact that as governor, look at the.
No, it will pay you more.
Yes, if
it will pay you more if you are the same person who put that person in
office.
You understand? It will pay you more.
And
Amechi didn't make him governor.
He did not.
He defeated Amechi's candidate.
Exactly.
But when people say, what goes around...
No. That's
the examples are not the same.
They are not. I'm only saying that as governor,
yes,
he has power.
Of course.
Within that city.
But do we see the rivers in Broglio going to the apex court?
Of course. Of course, this matter will get
it will.
When people are struggling for control of the assembly,
it will.
The assembly is the thing. They want to control. There's no way that 4 persons will pass a bill and you think they will not be resisted. At some point, they will be resisted, either through the court or even physically. You know?
Even if it drives them out of town. Even if it drives them out of town, it will still go
you can't even drive them out of town.
I know not to talk about.
You see, the thing is, the way people use power varies. What a Buhari may not bother himself about as the leader of the ruling party. Tinubu is much more grounded politically, whether people admit it or not. He may not be willing to tolerate that, because all of these things have limits. For example, if I was president and an Obaseki will say he wants to run the state with about 9 lawmakers, and he didn't allow the other people to even step in. They organized
removing the roof of the assembly.
Without the organized inauguration, without them getting involved. Of course, as a president, I know what to do. He's not going to get away with it. So we use power in different ways.
Yeah.
I don't think that under any situation, and I've not seen it happen anywhere in the world, that you use an assembly of 32 persons. Yes, someone died. Let's even say 31.
31 now.
Now use 4 members to be running the house. 4 members to be passing bills. No, you are going to be resisted. And he has to know that, look, resistance will come his way. The courts will get busy on this matter. I'm very confident that the court, because...
So we ain't seen nothing yet?
Of course, these are early days. A friend of mine posted something, he said, between these 2 people, no one can say that he's sure of how this matter will end.
Yeah.
Whoever says that, oh, I know that this is how it will end, does not know what he's saying. Because in Nigeria, a whole day is such a long time. So many things can happen politically in one day. So no one should imagine that, okay, because it's going this way now, that is the way it will end. You can see, for them to have gone to sit somewhere, it means that they see themselves as the heart of the house. And the law is clear that you can only remove a speaker with 2/3 majority
of the members.
And the speaker has not officially been removed.
Yeah.
Because no one has summoned that number to impeach him. So whoever is the speaker of 4 persons or 3 persons saying he's the speaker, he knows that he is deceiving himself. Because, and the things that they did during Obasanjo's era, where 4 persons will say, or 8 persons will say, they have declared the seats of their colleagues vacant. I don't think this time around they'll be allowed to do it, because Obasanjo got away with a lot of criminal things. You go to a state, you impeach the governor with 7, 8 persons. Absolute rubbish now. Impeach a governor with 7 persons,
in one
you go to a state and you use a motorboy. You use a motorboy, or auxiliary, or what's his name? You use him to impeach. He even sat on the seat of the speaker. The leader of Agberos, sitting on the seat, it can only happen under an Obasanjo presidency. He sat there and he dropped his gavel and the governor was impeached. But it was a waste of time because the court brought, leave me first. The court brought him back.
No, we are not quarreling, but I'm
saying...
The
court brought the person back. Let people doing illegalities know that it's just a matter of time. The courts can come and say, look, you wasted your time. Dariye was impeached, the court brought him back. Adewolu Ladoja was impeached by motorboy. The court brought him back. You know, the painful thing was that they did those things. The president did not even try to say it was wrong.
Because he felt he had the power.
All right, gentlemen. Doctor, let me tease you a little. The Americans have the American dream. Do you think there's such a thing as a Nigerian dream?
That question has been asked so many times.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we have one.
Okay.
Because we are not united in focus. Our focus isn't the same.
So dreaming nationally...
Even on rivers, we are not united.
We are not united.
Yeah, people would be happy to see legality happen because they do not like the victim of illegality. That's not objectivity.
And of course, politicians in our country have become Machiavellian.
The end justifies the means.
Or the end by any means possible. You know.
Some people are making cool money now over this crisis. Huge money. This is their season. So for them, it can go on forever.
Okay. All right then. That will be just the much we can take regarding Rivers State. But Rivers, please
be united.
Give
peace a chance.
Give peace a chance. I beg you. I'm not talking about the peace of the graveyard. You know, please give peace.
Or rivers of blood.
Or we don't need a rivers of blood, please. It's possible. Okay, to our next story. You know, for the incarcerated leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, the road to freedom is not yet. The Supreme Court overruled the verdict of the appeal court, which had earlier freed him and therefore declined to order his release. Justice Agbim, who read the lead judgment, held that although the federal government recklessly and unlawfully rendered him from Kenya, such an act has not divested, that is, has not deprived any court in Nigeria from proceeding with a trial. Kanu's lead counsel, Mike Ezeife, had urged the court to dismiss the government's appeal with costs and uphold the cross appeal so as to do justice to Kanu's matter. For Nnamdi Kanu, the waiting continues, Jide.
Yes, I've always said that the best solution to the Kanu problem is a political solution.
Yeah.
This is what I've been saying for years now.
Yes, no, yeah.
It's a political solution that we need. All of what is going on will not bring the solution to this matter. And frankly, I saw this coming because what the Court of Appeal did was to find the federal government guilty of illegal rendering of Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria in complete disharmony with international law, international conventions. Yes, before you can extradite an individual, there must be, you must put him on trial. The matter of his extradition must go to court. You can't bring a person from another country without an extradition trial. That is the standard. We didn't allow Kanu to go through any extradition trial. We just forcibly and in a barbaric manner brought him to Nigeria. The Supreme Court affirmed that to go to that extent to bring him back to Nigeria was irresponsible.
And reckless.
Yes, was reckless and irresponsible. And personally, I was ashamed that we could go to that length. Yes, we want him to face justice here. But we must do things in line with international best practice, international convention. We didn't do that. Now, for the appeal court to then order his release and quash his terrorism charges on the basis of the illegal rendering of Kanu. I think that is where they made a mistake, which the Supreme Court has exploited now. It's like you suspect that somebody stole some money and the documents that can implicate him are in his house. You then went to his house, tied him up like a salaram.
Without a search warrant.
Without a search warrant, and then obtained those documents.
By force.
You obtained those documents forcibly, which will help you in prosecuting him. Now, are you saying that because you illegally procured those documents, that they are not going to be admissible in law, before the court of law? That's no way. If there is cast iron evidence manifested in those papers, those documents that you found on the day you raided his house, beat him up and tied his hands, and you got those documents, you can't say that that they are not going to be admissible, because the court will look at the value of the document that you brought before it. And it's not going to say, oh, we put this person on trial, he jumped bail. Now that they have brought him to Nigeria forcibly in a manner that breaches international law, therefore his case, his original matter, for which he for which he fled the country, for which he jumped bail, should then be
Which they will.
That's what the Supreme Court did. That's what the appeal court did. You quash the terrorism charges. You quash the charges before him on account of that error. Illegal rendering that they did. Now, what Justice Agim, when it comes to diplomatic law, he stands out in that Supreme Court, you know, because he had been president of, he had been chief judge of Gambia. So he understands these issues, the one who read the judgment. Justice Agim then said, look, what he should have done, he should have sued the Nigerian government for illegally bringing him here. But the case that he had should continue. And that case, is on the basis of that case that was there, that they decided, the court decided now that you cannot free him. You can't free him because we brought him here illegally. How about the original matter?
The subsisting matter.
Yes, for which he jumped bail. So you cannot use that one case to then dismiss the two matters that he had. You know, it's very simple way that the judges have looked at it. That matter is terrorism, the charge of terrorism. He should answer that one, despite the fact that the court admitted that it was irresponsible of the Nigerian government to have brought him into Nigeria.
And to have even attacked his home in Abia.
No, that was not even, they were concerned about the way they brought him from Kenya.
You know, and the way...
It was wrong. I also admit that it was wrong of the army. Yes, you know, and I think that if you want to kill me, I'm not sure that you are not going to kill me. You attack my father's house. I have every reason to escape. That's what he did at that time. So he escaped to save his life. It's the thing that any rational person...
Because that's the belief that they came for him.
Yeah, Doctor, you know, Jide talked, even if in passing, about a political solution. You know, the Southeast expected that the prayers would be granted, that Kanu would be set free.
You can't get a political judgment. The law is the law. So it's wrong looking in that direction of the court to get political judgment.
No, the court will not.
Exactly, and that's the point BKO has been making over the years.
Actually, where I'm going is this.
All right, sir.
The president is father figure. This is the time, perhaps, to take a second long, hard look at the Nnamdi Kanu's case.
Yes.
It's Christmas time. It's the season of goodwill to all men and all that. The window is still there.
Very much so.
The window of opportunity
is very much there. You know, in the last 2 years of the Buhari regime, there was that glimmer of hope with the elder statesman Mbazuluke.
Offered
so much
to
that. And one had thought, okay, something could happen. But unfortunately, while all of that was going on, they declared sit at home in the Southeast and were killing people. So which government will not have...
Wasn't the case?
It will. Which government is now going to release somebody that you know that if he enters into the system and he says continue? That kind of...
But have you not heard the argument that if you release Kanu now,
that
argument is tension?
That argument is there. But we must even foresee that nobody is controlling that kind of army again.
Yes.
We must see it.
It must come with some concessions.
Some concessions. You can't be killing people and say they should release somebody to you that once you release that person, where has it been done before? We can go and see the situation even in Nigeria.
After Mandela's release,
go and see another. Go and see.
No. So there has to be conditions. That's the point I'm making. At this point, I would like to see Kanu released. I've been saying this for so long. Because I believe that it can be done.
Yeah.
Even warring parties, they always end up at the round table, you know, to talk about peace. And we saw it even in apartheid South Africa. You know, so I believe that a political solution is possible. But a political solution will not come without some concessions being made by the subject of the political solution itself. Because people see him now as a political prisoner of conscience and all that. But the Nigerian government would not want to put itself in a position where it will regret taking an action. So if Kanu will renounce the armed struggle, would give up his Biafra agitation, for example, and if the people killing IPOB,
in his name,
ESN and
people
the rest of them,
his name,
you know, citing his name to commit all kinds of atrocities, will give up. Ekpa and
yeah, Simon Ekpa is influence in the whole thing.
Yes, he's as a faction of IPOB. It's like belongs to a faction. He too is preaching Biafra and all that. If the government can extract that commitment from Kanu and the people around him, that look, in exchange for peace, we give up. In exchange for freedom and peace, we give up this agitation. Honestly, it's what President Tinubu
as it is Kanu. Would Kanu and the team have to go back, start from the High Court again?
No, they are there. The case had never ended. The case had been on. You know, at the time when he fled, the case was not discontinued. It was not. It was not. What do they call it? It was not
dismissed.
It was not ended. The court did not say, okay, this matter has ended. So, look at all of the crimes that Bill Cosby committed decades ago.
Yeah.
They came back to haunt him. The case is still on. Yeah. So, the other matter has died at the level of the Supreme Court now. That's the matter of his illegal rendition.
All right.
But this other matter,
I think Chief Emmanuel Iwanya can do more now by galvanizing it.
Yes. Instead of going around saying some people developed the southwest and saying things that he cannot prove. He's not a historian.
Yeah.
He should stop all that talk. And we need leaders who will unite us.
Jide and Dotun, we must go. Time is the master here. Jide, 10 days to go to Christmas.
Yes.
Are you thinking Christmas?
Well, I'm waiting for you to deliver the turkey that you talked about.
And the rice.
When you deliver it, I know that my Christmas
is assured.
Is assured. Okay. That's it on the show for today.
Just come here, you speak English and fail to
here we go again.
Do the needful.
I wish you well. But thank you, Babatunde, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Many thanks for your time.
John Susan.
And Dotun Oladipo.
Thank you so much.
Many thanks. Sir. Enjoy your holiday. Send the bills to him. If you missed any part of this broadcast, not to worry. At 11 later tonight, there's a repeat program. Join us for the late edition. On Sunday, we expand the field for you from 1:30 to 3:30. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Osen. Bye-bye now. Take care.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Do you struggle with having an active and healthy lifestyle due to your busy schedule? Do you find it difficult to make it to the gym? You want to improve your overall health, but don't know where and how to start? Medical experts agree that walking, running, and jogging are amongst the best ways to stay fit.